Hi guys, I hope you're doing well. I'm Vidya and today I'm going to talk all about cord blood banking or stem cell banking. You might have heard of these terms if you're pregnant through your doctor or through your friends, and if you're wondering what it's all about and whether it's right for you and your family, this video will help you make that choice. Ultimately, the decision is yours whether you decide to do it or not, but I hope to give you some information to help you make that decision. So cord blood banking, what is it really? So basically, when the baby is born, the doctor cuts the umbilical cord that joins the baby to the mother, and cord blood, which is the blood in this umbilical cord, is collected and stored in a very specialized facility for any future use that you might have. Now, this cord blood is very rich in stem cells. So you might be wondering what stem cells are and what is this whole talk surrounding stem cells. So stem cells are basically undifferentiated cells. So to put it very simply, our cells, our whole body is made of very specialized cells. Like our brain has special brain cells, our heart, lungs, kidney, our skin, everything has a specific kind of cells. Stem cells are the basis of all these cells. They have the potential to become any kind of cells. So what this means is, if you have a disease, a very serious disease like leukemia, which is a kind of blood cancer, these stem cells can be transplanted in your body. They can be put in your body to convert into that particular kind of cell which helps cure the disease. So they have a huge amount of possibilities when it comes to medical research. There are lots of diseases that are already being cured using stem cell therapy, and I'll put some links in the description box for you to look at of some lists of these conditions. But what does this mean to us as parents, right? When we are trying to make this decision of whether to do cord blood banking for our child or not. The first thing you want to do is find out if your family has any genetic conditions. So from both sides of your family, try to look for at least 2 or 3 generations and see if there are any conditions that are being passed on, like certain types of cancers. You can use the links in the description as a general guide. So if your family does have any of these conditions, that's a big reason to do cord blood banking. And not just your baby, but these cord blood cells can be used by a close family member. Like if the parents or the sibling of the baby have any of these conditions, you can use these stem cells. But what if your family doesn't have any of those major genetic diseases, because they're quite rare, right? So is it a waste of money to do cord blood banking if your family is quite healthy on both sides? No, because stem cell research is a huge field and more advances are being made every day, and the possibilities for the next few decades are literally endless. So even relatively common lifestyle diseases like type 2 diabetes may have cures in the future. So that is another thing to consider when you're thinking of cord blood banking, is the future possibilities of the area. The next thing that will help you decide whether to do it or not is how safe is the procedure. Like I said before, the cord blood is collected when the umbilical cord is being cut right after the baby is born. So it's completely safe for both the baby and the mother, and it's not the baby's blood that you're taking away, so the baby is not even touched. You also have the option of collecting cord tissue at that point along with the cord blood, and some banks will store it for you at an additional cost. Cord tissue is also very rich in stem cells and has similar properties like cord blood, so you can look into that as well. The next thing that you want to consider is the cost, and companies charge you per year for storing cord blood or cord tissue, and because they need certain specialized environments to store these cells, like very low temperatures, the storage costs can be quite high. So think of all these factors, discuss them with your family before you make that choice. the way I looked at it was like insurance. Like, you hope you never need it and you most likely won't, but just in case, it's a good thing to have, right? There are two kinds of cord blood banks, government owned and private. The government owned ones, they store your cells for free, but if you need them in the unlikely event, you may not get your particular sample. So it's like making a donation, and if someone else needs those cells before you, they will be given those. And if you need your cells, you may get your own sample if it's still available. If it's not, you may get someone else's. But if you want to make sure that your child has their own stem cells stored for them, you can choose a private bank. A private bank will store your cells for just you or your family's use, and they'll do this at a cost. So it's a decision that you have to make if you want to, go down this road of cord blood banking. And if you think that you are convinced of the benefits of cord blood banking, but you don't want to pay the price, you can go ahead with a government bank. So if you decide to go ahead with cord blood banking, talk to a few different companies before you choose one, and don't feel shy about asking them questions. Like, I'm not a doctor, but I do have a background in biology, so I was ready with a bunch of different questions for every company that I spoke to. And I noticed that they are a private company, right? So they try to sell their product and they try to convince you to choose them over other companies. So ask them any question that comes to your mind. Like, some of the questions I asked them were, how long does it take you to send the sample if I need it in the future? And what if I'm in another country? Will you be able to send it to me then? Because they're live cells, different governments have different regulations to ship them across the border. So how long will all that process take, and where is the storage facility, and things like, what happens if I suddenly stop making payments? Will you just throw my sample away? No question is too stupid, so get all the information that you can before you choose any any cord blood bank, and try to make the decision at least by the 7th or 8th month of your pregnancy, so that you have enough time to talk to different banks and find out the process, and also discuss it with your doctor, because even though it's a simple procedure, they need to have someone who's trained and someone familiar with the process to be there at the time of your labor and delivery. I think in each country there's a different way of doing it. Here in the US, they send you a kit which you have to carry in your hospital bag, and once the doctor collects the sample, they send it off to the facility and they check the cells and then they put it in the storage. So find out all the information that you can before you decide to do it or not. And I hope this video was at least a little bit informative for you. If you have any more questions, please leave them in the comment section below, and I'll try my best to answer them. And I hope to see you in one of my next videos. Please give this video a thumbs up if you found it useful, and subscribe to the channel, and I'll see you next time. Until then, take care. Bye.